All right, welcome to the Sharp Mind Show. I'm Nate, the owner of InserSale, where 30,000 customers have chosen InserSale to be their brand, and we hope you become the next one. So if you're interested in cool, inspirational t-shirts like this one, faith, family, fitness, and finances, which is what InserSale stands for, be sure to check out InserSale.com. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video with somebody that needs it. My family and I really appreciate it, and I do these things for free to help you. So if you could help me by sharing the video with somebody, that would be amazing, right? I really appreciate it. All right, got a good show for you today, and it's called Building Confidence from Scratch. Building confidence from scratch, right? And so I think a lot of people think that they're going to step up, to a tee and be able to hit a baseball off a tee the first time they try, right? And there are some people out there that are like that, right? They can just, their hand-eye coordination is already good enough that they can step up to a tee and hit a baseball off a tee, right? But when you first start out doing things, you're not going, to be a professional at it, right? And so this is actually a mind twist on how people actually think, because, people think you have to be confident in doing something before you do it, right? And so confidence doesn't come before action. You have to hit the ball off the tee, 50, 100, 1,000 times before you are good at hitting the ball off the tee, right? And so that's the myth. Most people think that they need confidence before they start, when really they need to start, improve, and then they'll have confidence, right? And so basically that is what you try to do, right, with anything. And so number one is having the realization that you're not going to step up to the tee and hit a home run on your first swing, right? And so mentally you have to be prepared for that, right? And so, but there are some people out here. So there's some people that made one t-shirt and, they were off to the races, right? And, the t-shirt sold, they made that first 50, 50 order t-shirt line, and the t-shirt line went crazy, right? And then there's people like me who've been doing it for 10 plus years, who have never really had one just take off. We've always had good sales, but never one to just, right? And that's what I was hoping this faith, family, fitness, and finance one would be, because it hits the big four. But, I'm confident that, I've done clothing so long now that I'm confident that my t-shirt is the best t-shirt. I'm confident that no matter how many times you wash it, it's still going to be good, that the print's going to be good. I'm confident in the quality, and, I really love what the saying stands for and what InserSale stands for, right? And so that's how I can have confidence now. But I'd love to have some confidence with some sales. So if you like it, make sure you go to InserSale.com and pick it up, right? So that being said, you have to start before you're going to have confidence, right? And so the second thing is, with confidence, is keeping promises to yourself, right? So every time you say you're going to do something and you don't, you lose confidence, right? Every time you follow through with what you say you're going to do, you build confidence. So when you say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to lose weight, whatever it is, you commit and say, oh, I'm going to go to this birthday party or whatever, you actually do it, right? And so that builds your confidence that when you say yes to something, that you're going to be confident about. And it's a self-trust thing. When you say, okay, I'm actually going to follow a nutrition plan and get healthy, be under 250 pounds by my 40th birthday, and be in the best shape of my life in my 40s, I'm going to keep that promise to myself, right? Because I have that confidence, right? So the next thing I'm going to talk about is what's called the action loop, right? And so just like we're starting with that the T-ball example, you take action by getting up there and swinging the bat at the tee, right? You gain that experience, you build the belief, you start hitting the ball, and the ball starting to, peppering the ball where you want it to go. And then all of a sudden you can get pitched to, right? And then, now you can actually go and, you go to a batting cage and you can go to the 90-mile-an-hour section, instead of the 50-mile-an-hour section, right? And then you repeat this in your whole life, right? Everything you do, right? So especially if you're trying something new, like, you're not going to be a professional at it when you're brand new. Like you're not going to be a snowboarder and go to the highest mountain range to snowboard your first time up, where you got to dodge trees and all this other kind of stuff, right? You're going to go, to the bunny slopes and, figure out how to move, how to turn, how to stop. You're going to do all that stuff, right? And when you gain that experience, then you build the belief, then you can go up in the slopes, right? So segment 4 is why people lack confidence, right? So the number one reason that people lack confidence is because they overthink everything, right? And so, if you're one of those people that you say, I can't do this because of this, I can't do this because of that, I'm going to need this, this, and this, it's got to be perfect before I start, that type of thing, that's going to make you lack confidence, right? The second reason why people lack confidence is they avoid discomfort. So they're not going to do anything that's uncomfortable, right? And so that's pretty self-explanatory there. Like, but you all know these people that aren't going to go outside their comfort zone or do anything that they're going to stay right there in their lane and, never take a risk in life. These people are the ones that are the savers, right? They, they hoard cash, that kind of thing, right? So, and the next one is they wait for perfection. I already talked about that in the overthinking part. And the last one is they compare themselves to others, right? So the biggest stealer of joy is comparing yourself to somebody else, right? And so the biggest thing that I always say when you're comparing yourself to somebody else is you have to do what is the best that you can do based on your situation, the hand that you're dealt, right? So there's people that, are dealt way better hands, and there's people that are dealt way worse hands in life, right? But you don't worry about that. You worry about what your mindset is, what your skill set is, and what your habits are, right? Worry about what your mindset is, what your skill set is, and what your habits are, because you can't help what everybody else is doing. You can have leadership and convince other people to come with you on your journey, but most of them aren't going to choose that way. They're going to choose the comfort, right? They're not going to be discomfortable, all that kind of stuff. So, keep that in mind. Don't compare yourself to others. And when you do, you say, okay, I'm not there yet, but I'm coming. I'm going to be the best, right? And so, but all of those stop action, right? And action is what is going to help you build confidence, right? And so the last thing I'm going to say here is you have to be willing to look bad, right? And so when people first, get up there to that tee again, you're not going to look very good when you swing the bat for the first time. Heck, there's people that were almost professionals, and it's been 4 or 5 years since they swung a bat, and they don't look as good swinging a bat as they did, as a professional, right? And so you got to keep, your first attempts are going to be awkward. Your first content's going to flop. my first t-shirt didn't do well, even though, I thought it was amazing. It definitely represented me as a person. Imagine adventure, I go on adventures. I love adventures, traveling, stuff like that. Um, and your first results are going to be small, right? But that's the price of growth. That's the price, building a business is a lot harder than people think it is, right? Having people believe in you, believe in the brand, believe in the quality of your product. And when you first start, you may not even know that the product is quality, right? But you started, so, that kind of thing. But people who win got comfortable being uncomfortable, right? And so you have to do that. Confidence comes from reps. You know, examples of that are talking to a camera. Like, it's very, difficult for most people to talk to a camera, but it gets easier. Selling to people gets easier. That first time you ask for the sale, like, oh, you like this t-shirt, cool. Okay, here it's $30. Let's get you your credit card going. Right. And they say, no, 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 no. Like, but you said it was good quality. You said you liked the design, why wouldn't you wear it? That type of thing. It's selling, right? And that's uncomfortable when you start, right? But when you realize selling honestly gets easier when you realize it's for your family, right? You're selling because you need to eat, your family needs to eat, your children need to eat, your community needs to eat. So if you start getting big, you think about, okay, well, I'm going to provide jobs for the whole community. I'm going to bring wealth to the community, right? So instead of people being in poverty, all around you, people will be in abundance all around you, that kind of thing. So, it becomes a bigger thing. Taking action becomes a bigger thing. If you don't take action, then all this is going to happen, right? And that's how I look at it, right? If I don't make these custom t-shirts, if I don't advertise them well, if I don't help more people around me, the community is going to suffer, right? And that's how I think about it. And hopefully, you'll start thinking about it that way, and communities around you will get better, right? And so the biggest thing I can say is that you take the small wins, right? So confidence doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from small wins on a daily basis, right? So, if you go look at episode 1 of this podcast, I'm sure it's terrible, right? Sure, it's absolutely terrible. I haven't looked at it in a while, but I'm sure it's pretty bad. Hell, this one may not be any better. I don't know, but you start by posting one video. You start by making one sale. You start by completing one task. Small wins over and over and over again become big belief, become big confidence, right? And that's an identity shift, right? From I hope I can do this to I'm the type of person who follows through and gets this done, right? And so that's from affirmations, that's mindset. So if you don't have affirmations, be sure to check those out in the description below. They are 100% free. I give them away for free because they're that important. All right. And so now it's time for rapid fire hooks, where I kind of rapid fire this into your brain, kind of help you out here. Hope you're liking the rapid fire hooks part. Let me know in the comments below if you are liking the rapid hooks part, right? So I'll keep the segment going if you end up liking it, right? So here we go. You're not lacking confidence. You're lacking action. You keep waiting to feel ready, waiting to feel confident, but confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Start now and confidence will catch up. Confidence is built one promise at a time. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you lose trust in yourself. But every time you follow through, you build it back up. Confidence is just self-trust in action. If you're scared to start, that's why you should do it. Your first video will be awkward. Your first attempt won't be great, but that's how everyone starts. Be willing to look bad or stay stuck. Confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing over and over and over again. The more reps you get, the more certain you'll become. Repetition builds itself. And repetition builds belief. This is how you build confidence in 30 days. Pick one thing that you've been avoiding. Do it every single day. No excuses, no overthink. No excuses, no overthinking. Consistency creates confidence. All right, and I'm going to leave you with this one thought, right? Confidence isn't given to you, it's earned. Every action you take builds it, and every excuse you make destroys it. So stop making excuses and start taking action. I say, if you need help, hit me up in the DM. I'm Nate, and I will absolutely help you. I'm Nate, and I'm the owner of InserSale. We're 30,000 customers that have chosen InserSale, and we hope you do the same. If you like inspirational messages on t-shirts, then be sure to check out InserSale.com. Check out my wife's book, Dylan and Davina, The Adventure Begins, which is available on Amazon, written by best-selling Amazon author Meredith Dillon Johnson. So if you got nieces, nephews, or children of your own, be sure to check that out. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the video with somebody that needs it. Like I said, I do these videos for free to help people and help you. So if you got help and got something from this video, be sure to share it with somebody that may need it. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.